Can people with PCOS and diabetes, can they lose weight and keep the weight off for the next 20 years? These are the often asked questions. The portion control is safe for PCOS and people with diabetes. Let's break down the recent studies between 2023 to 2025. PCOS and diabetes. Why you grouping? Often they have a benefit with low carb meals. They were talking about the insulin resistance and the weight gain. The recommendations given to people with the PCOS and diabetes are this: exercise regularly. You have to flush sugar out. 150 minutes per week, moderate cardio workout, as well as 3 times a week, you gotta lift weight. Add 30 to 40 grams of fiber a day. Add protein bigger than carb. What is the carb size? They recommended 120 to 150 grams of carb per day. Sounds like a very specific. How does it look like on your plate? Don't worry, I got you. On my page, I use cup size. Nobody's actually carrying the scale when they are eating out at the restaurant, unless you are preparing for bodybuilding competition or having a meal provided from somebody else. What am I looking for? I recommend to use cup size. What is the benefit of this cup size is you are measuring it on the volume of a cup. I'm using 250 milliliter size of a small cup, 1 cup size. When you pour it onto the plate, you see it each meal with your eyes. You cannot training with your eyes. Your portion is each meal kind of similar in volume. So you are eating each meal, similar meal. Feeling fullness is similar with each meal. Get it? That's the goal. Eventually, you don't need to measure it, but I like to measure it. As a very indulgent, sometimes going overboard human being, I often serve myself a little bigger than what I plan to when it comes to yummy food. So I still measure. But I know approximately how it look like on the plate. So let's go for the details, okay? I'm not talking to the Mrs. Kim from Richmond Hill, Ontario, Canada, Steve from Alabama, Olga from Ukraine. You see, it's not specific. So I am talking to you generally. So you gotta find it your ground so you can make it into the plate. I recommend it to have everybody 5 cups of vegetables. I want you to eat mixed ones, more the merrier. So many kinds of the food are out there, all in the globe. Use it as many kinds as possible. Be cultural. Don't stick with your complexion belongs to. Open to the market. Approximately 5 cups of vegetables per day. Protein size is 2/3 cup. Often I say 2 palm size is your 1 serving of no thumbs, no fingers. That's approximately 2/3 cup. That's approximately bodybuilders use as a 6 ounce. But it's not about the weight. It's about the volume. Each meal. That's about 40 grams of protein per meal. Carb size smaller than protein. Little smaller than tennis ball. That's about half cup, 125 milliliter of the high fibrous carb like lentils, beans, squash, sweet potatoes, white potato with the skin on. You get that idea, whole grains. Add fiber. So what does it look like? You are eating 5 cups of vegetables, 2 to 3 cups of fruit, half a cup of carb, high fibrous carb, 1 to 3 servings of carb. Those are approximately, it landed to 70 to 140 grams of carb. What they recommended People with conditions like a PCOS, they do good when they control carbs. 70 to 150 grams of carb per day. So this is approximately it fits. Most dietitians don't count vegetables as carb because literally these are the free food if you are not indulged on the too much of sauce, dips, and salad dressing. You know that in this plan, I even put it on the number in it, 2 tablespoons per day. You can indulge the vegetables, but you can limit the sauce and dips and the salad dressing. Because after all, this is about the losing weight program. Depends on what starch carbs you choose. They recommended eat small meals every 2 to 3 hours to preventing sugar spikes. So your body is during the day. That looks like half of your plate is vegetables. Little 2 palm size of protein slow your sugar absorption down to your body. It's preventing sugar spikes along with fiber from vegetables and a fruit. You're gonna finish with each meal as your dessert. Your carb, half cup of a carb on your plate has high fiber starch food like lentils, beans, legumes, squash, sweet potatoes, you name it. It has fiber in it that slows sugar absorption down. Try this. Depends on what starch carb you choose. Your carb count is about 70 to 150 grams of carb. If you choose 2 palm size of protein with each meal, I count it as about 40 grams per meal. That's about 120 grams of protein on your plate. And vegetables is the biggest on your plate as long as you limit sauce, dips, dressing. Finish with your fruit. If you're worried about the fruit, the sugar, cut it smaller pieces. Plant has ton of fiber and the protein to slow down because your size of carb is not that high. If that worries, don't criticize it before you try to experience it. Is your eating plan healthier and balanced than this? Do you work out? Do you give your body to chance flush the blood sugar out of your bloodstream? Maybe what you are eating is, maybe your carb size is bigger than your vegetables and protein. Maybe that was your problem, not the fruit at the end. Don't fall for Mediterranean diet is being best. 1950s, researchers chose to go to living in Greece, around Crete or Italy, instead of going to Okinawa in Japan or Levant area like Middle East from European-centric perspectives. They choose the food somewhat familiar with their food. They choose the land, people who look like closer to their complexion area. They call it Mediterranean. Mediterranean is big area. They didn't study north of Turkey, Middle East. They didn't study, not even Spain. North Africa. They didn't study that side of the Mediterranean. They call it Mediterranean. When you look at the Mediterranean, excuse about my pronunciation, I'm butchering that. Often you see the picture of salmon, which is not came from that area. And elite criticizing eating salmon being farmed tuna being high mercuries. That doesn't even belong to Mediterranean diet. Don't fall for it, please. Let's debunk it. If it was bullshit, let's just call it bullshit. What they studied is in that what is good for all health and losing weight is not from Mediterranean. It is high in omega-3, which they choose. The fish they were studied was sardines, mackerels, abundant in sea like seafood like octopus, not the salmon from Atlantic. They didn't include everything. The Mediterranean diet is very excluded, Eurocentric, North American friendly diet. Debunk it. Don't fall for it. What they recommended in this context is high in omega-3, high in fiber. So half of your plate is vegetables. 2 palm size of protein, whatever your protein is. You can choose salmon. You can use tuna. Even though it doesn't look good on the pictures, you can put sardines. Good, small, working class, oily fish. If you have a fear of the fish's eyes on the sardines, then eat other protein. Sorry. I really dislike all those stereotypical elite luxury food only is healthy food marketing. Healthy fitness industry they recommended. Choose the carb with a high fiber. You need the details? Get a handbook on my bio. There's a link called Pensite. Go get it today. Start it.